Good day. Good day. Welcome. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. You know the metrics. Thank you for that. I want to start off by asking you a question. I want to give you an expression. You tell me what it means. Okay? Some people feel the rain. Others just get wet. What does that mean? Now, the reason why I ask is this is a classic example of somebody checking for psychosis, not psychopathy, but somebody who is schizophrenic, psychotic. Psychotic people are not able to appreciate abstraction. They don't know how to do that. That doesn't make any sense to them. What's in the top of your head? What? What does this mean? Let me say this again. And I love this expression. And by the way, it was attributed to everybody from, and I love there are these various sites called quote investigators. It's been attributed to everybody from these famed economists and Bob Dylan. Roger Miller said this purportedly. You know, dang me, you ought to get a rope and hang me. Hang me from the highest tree, woman would you wait for me. And king of the road, remember Roger Miller. Some people feel the rain, others just get wet. What does that mean? Some are aware, some are not. Very good, Sean. Let's go a little deeper. I like that. I love that. What does this mean, though? Because when it makes you see what you do? Think about this. You got to kind of close your eyes a little bit. And you got to dig a little bit. You're kind of digging. You say, well, other people might see just the obviousness of this. Like, what is this? What are we doing? We're out in the rain. We're getting wet. Yes, we're getting wet. But we're walking in the rain. We might be abandoning custom. We might be enjoying ourselves. We might be kind of laughing. We might be enjoying nature. I feel laughter in the rain, singing in the rain. What does that mean? Ablution. Look up the symbology of ablution and water and cleansing and return to the womb and amniotic buoyancy. You can go nuts with this. But some people say, I don't know, it just got wet. That's the thing which I find interesting, to be able to appreciate. Some people are present and others are not. You're getting it. That's right. That's interesting. You say that means being present. Present perhaps in the recognition of the symbology, because we're very symbolic. Things mean certain. Rainbows. A rainbow is a prism. The rainbow, you can stand out there in your yard with a hose, go like that, and look, the water comes through. It's a prism. But the pot of gold, the colors, the way, symbology, the way we look and we see shapes out of things, the way we look at the clouds, doesn't that look like Groucho Marx to you? The Rorschach test. I'm not going to spend forever on this. Always recognize what something really means. Do not run from the symbology. Do not run from... I know most, 99, maybe 99.9% of all my friends, people that I know, have no idea of what these things even mean or the importance of them. They swear they do, but they don't. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. I want to give you another little analogy, a little kind of a thought picture. That's all, a thought picture. And it goes something like this, very, very simple. Let me see if I can explain this to you. Sometimes when you're doing something, you don't really recognize what's happening. There's so much that's going on, but you're so contained within one particular aspect of it, you miss it. If you and I were flying in a twin Marchetti, one of the most fun things I ever did with time was flying with doing these aerobatics with these Marchetti, these props with the next Air Force, this thing called Top Gun USA, and we were doing dog fights, and it was fun. But you're in this plane, and it doesn't really look like, well, I mean, we're in the bubble, and we're flying, and you're far more aware of the fact that you're flying. When we pop the top, when we pop the canopy, and you feel the wind, then you think, wow, we really are moving. Now I understand it. Every day I talk to you, I want to pull the canopy back. I want you to feel overwhelmed with all that's happening. I want you to understand the speed that we're going. Because it may kind of fool you. You may think, well, it's just another day. Hey, here's another story. There's a little something on debt. On the debt reconciliation. That's interesting. Hey, there's some new... Oh, there's an Epstein story. Okay. All right. Okay. No. Pull back the canopy. You should be overwhelmed with what's happening. That's not the news. That's not it. I'm going to be doing some videos. I've got my video little piece written out. And Mrs. L forwarded to me something. It is a wonderful, wonderful piece. I want to recommend this to you. And it's one of the most interesting things I came across. Thank God for Substack. Thank God for Substack and this wonderful, wonderful piece. It's called A Tattoo Tale. It's written by a woman named Karen Hunt, a.k.a. K.H. Mazik. And she talks about, there's so much. One is a 1990s interview that she cites from David Bowie, who I never understood David Bowie when he was alive. I never really understood the I guess the relevance of him. Just like the Stones, I never got the Stones until like late. I didn't hear them. Certain things I don't get. So David Bowie was talking about the internet. And the internet. We don't even call it the internet anymore. He was so prescient, it wasn't even funny. And then, one of the most interesting things ever, which is what I have been talking about. And if you've known me, you've known that I have been telling you for the longest time that one of the most critical things that we do in our society is this acceptance of and the ubiquity of the tattoo. And I have driven people crazy because to some people they're just getting wet. I'm walking in the rain. I see it as clear and as obvious and as open and as I see it all there. Every single thing I see. I know that may sound kind of highfalutin, but it's true. It's the absolute truth. I see it so clear. And one of the things which is in this article, which I want to prevent, and I'm going to be talking about this later on. Now remember, there's different levels. This is polite talk. This is YouTube talk. This is watch your P's and Q's. Very, very nice. I'm glad to be here. And there's a wonderful, it's a wonderful avenue of discussion, but it's very polite. It's church talk. Very polite. It's like talking to your grandmother. You are not going to really... And listen, I'm not arguing. I want you to understand something. House rules. House rules. House rules. That's the way it is. On my private channel, it's a different story. My normal language, I am not the cursor unless it makes sense to the explanation of the story. And then, to me, the dreaded, these scatological references or whatever, I think can emphasize and can make more expressive the idea. So that's okay. But I also go into deeper levels that, frankly, we are not going to talk about here. At all. And I understand the rules completely. Certain things you don't say certain things on Facebook. You don't say certain things on Twitter. You just don't. You can't. That's the way it is. But I have been talking about this, and I've been saying that you're missing the point about tattooing. This happened too quickly. And when I bring this up to people, they say, well, there's always been tattoos in the Japanese. I go, no, you're just saying something to artificially rebut what I'm saying. I will put this reference. This is a great a great idea. Certain times people would always mark your enemies. They knew how to mark people up with carbon and whatever. They would mark slaves. They would mark the vanquished. In most, and I'm quoting from this wonderful article, in most of the ancient Greco-Roman art, tattoos were seen as a mark of punishment and shame. The Greeks, for example, according to Herodotus, learned the idea of penal tattoos from the Persians. Indigenous people known as the Eboloi once mummified their honored dead and laid them to rest in hollowed logs and caves, which is so interesting. Mummification. There's something about humans that always wanted to create the image of permanence. You're not dead. I've preserved you. See? Okay. Very good. In life, these ancient people had won the right to be covered in spectacular tattoos depicting geometric shapes as well as animals such as lizards, snakes, whatever it is. Wow. Anyway, I'm not going to read. This might be, the other parts of this are a little bit rough. I'll refer you to this. But more importantly, and this is the interesting thing, this is a part of acclimation and habituation and getting you accustomed to something. Overnight, out of nowhere, we hit a ubiquity regarding tattoos I have never seen. I mean, everywhere. From a cute little rose to maybe bikers or sailors. Now it is beyond ubiquitous. Why is that important? Well, a couple of things. Wait till e-tattoos come up. E-tattoos will be made of flexible components, conductive ink that can track information about the person wearing it. Like a child's decorative tattoo, you need to get it damp, apply it to the skin, and it can be, again, your tracker. RFID chips, I've been talking about since the beginning of time. You might go back to Mark of Cain and the notion of you being targeted. I don't have to talk to you about horrible periods of our history where humans were serialized, etc. Digital tattoos can, of course, monitor movement, heart activity, always depicted as some form of, monitoring in case it has my medical information. Okay. Graphene-based patches made by South Korean researchers not only monitor your heart, but knows when you need medication, personal alarm buttons, hidden RFID. We're now going to something which has been, it's so old. I'm telling you, if I told you this 10 years ago, people would look at me and they say, what is he talking about? Because I pulled back the canopy. I was hit by it. I was walking in the rain. They were getting wet. It was right there. One of the most interesting things I saw was there is a device. DARPA came up with this one, or was investigating it. They put it here. It looks like adhesive tape. And when you are thinking, you are making micro vocalizations. You're not really speaking out loud, but you're actually saying words. You don't think you are. But you are saying words. sometimes which a company thought, and this particular monitor can pick up those words. It is incredible. You are being systematically, and remember, it is so much easier to train through operant conditioning versus punishment, classical conditioning. When you want your dog, when they ask you, when you go to any kind of dog trainer and say, how do I get my dog to go on this pad? How do I get my dog to sit or heel? What do they always do? They reward. This is called successive approximation. It's to reward. It's what we do. It's how we work. It's to reward. And science and customs and industries and people have always brought you through successive approximation to something. And it is happening. And when you see this, when you walk out there, you will be able to put on like almost special glasses and you'll say, oh, I get it. This looks innocent to people. The next time you're at a table, the next time you're sitting with somebody, try it. Bring this up. Talk about markings, especially, and somebody who invariably at your table has a tattoo or tattoos. I guarantee you. They will come up with something. They will automatically make up a series of historical facts about how it's warriors, and they'll just make things up. It's just like people do when you talk about anything. Have you ever talked to militant carnivores? And I'm a carnivore at heart, but they will make things up. Well, the reason we have this tooth is the canine is because we are meat eaters and we were meant to the predation, and you need animal flesh because there are amino acids that, and they pull a word out here and they pull a word out here and they'll say protein. Well, the same thing with tattoos. They'll just make things up. And thinking, no, you're not, you don't see what's happening with this. Credit scores came up overnight. They're just under. You know what your credit score is? Yes, I do. You know what which one? Well, is it the Vantage 1, the Vantage 2? Is it the Armica? Is it the Equifax? Is it the Centurion 5X? Well, yeah. Did you check the special one? Did you check Equifax 8 for mortgages? No. There's like 90 different. What does this mean? What was it? It was to habituate you, to condition to you. Okay. Makes sense to me. Scoring else also. Where? Uber. How am I doing? Doing great. Can I have a score? Can you give me 5 score? Did you ever do this? Hi, thank you very much. Listen, this is my name. This is my score at the bottom. Would you please circle this? Yes. Would you? Okay. Would you circle this, please? Yes, I will. Thank you very much. Will you circle this? Yes, I'll circle. Thank you. Would you give me the credit? Yes, I will. Thank you very much. Okay. And it's what we do. It's what we do. You're just used to it. Everywhere you go. Ubers, this, they credit score. You're constantly being scored. There are some people, I found this out, that in the rarest of occasions, some people cannot get an Uber because of their score. I don't know what their score is or whatever, but they say, we don't want you. What? We don't want you. Remember during masking, during COVID, if you were seen not wearing a mask. I remember one time we asked the driver, do we have to wear a mask? And he said, no, it's okay. And I get this thing that says, we're warning you, if you do this one more time. So, do you see what's happening? Okay. There is a woman, there was a fascinating story today, and her, let me see, where is her? Yes. Her name is, her name is X.I. Van Fleet. Chinese by birth, American by choice, survivor of Mao's Cultural Revolution, defender of liberty. One of this, and another thing too, you have to go elsewhere to have people speak of how what certain realities are. I have a kind of an old friend who fancies himself a communist slash socialist and is in love with China. In love. Can quote Mao, Deng Xiaoping, Zhou Enlai, name it. Speaks of China in a way that is so halcyon, so beautiful in terms of, oh my God, just wonderful. Okay. What's interesting to note, and I find this so fascinating, what's interesting to note about all of this is that when I ask him, why don't you move there? I'm not trying to be a smartass. Why don't you move? Oh, no. I don't understand that. I don't. Oh, he doesn't say, I love to visit. I don't think he thinks he's been. I don't know if he's even been there. I don't know. But I know people who say, would you, some people I know, they love the, I tell you this, I have these people that I know, one in particular who claims he's Italian. Claims I think he's been a couple of times, but somehow he's Italian last name, but somehow feels this connection, this connectivity to that which is Italian. And they're really not, he's not in anything even remotely Italian, can barely speak the language. So I said, well, why don't you move there? I'm serious. I'm not kidding you. I'm not trying to be a smartass. Oh, no. So anyway, okay. People who've lived in the area during certain times are really important to talk to. They tell you they appreciate things to you. There's a book I'm reading now by it's Mossad. It's pronounced in many different ways, by a fellow named Bar Zohar. And it's the mentality. It's to explain warfare on the level of terrorism, adjacent warfare. Adjacent. People, warfare with people you live with and near. Not warfare. Our warfare is always over there. This is here. So that you blend in. And guerrilla warfare and intellectual pursuits, it's a completely different thing. And there's an incredible beauty in war. It's terrible to say this. Just like boxing. Boxing is beautiful. It's brutal. I don't want to do it. I want to watch it. So I don't even want to watch it. I kind of want to just think about it. So this woman is talking about this. She's talking about this G. Van Fleet. In certain, and again, let's always take it according to what they say. There are depictions of people going into service stations, gas stations, always scanning your face. Scan. You can't do anything without scanning your face. Can't. You don't exist unless we know who you are. I'm getting gas. Well, okay. This was social credit score. You may or may not be able. Listen to this. Coming soon to cities near you as personal ESG. My friend in China just told me that she scanned her smartphone to use a restroom at a highway rest area. She promptly received a urine analysis report in a text message. Now, you're going to say, now wait a minute. And I know what people do. They always resist what you're saying. When Americans in particular don't like something, they resist it, whatever they say. And they do not want to think. They don't want to think about this. Okay, pull back the canopy of this plane. You feel that? That's what's out there. You're inside this little bubble right now, and it seems okay to you. It seems okay, and it seems like, well, that's interesting. No, you don't know how fast you're going. You don't know what's happening. You don't know where we're traveling. You don't recognize it. You don't see it because you're in this little plane, and you're looking down, and you're having fun. And no, pull it back. Look what's happening. Other people don't see it. They're just getting wet. You're in the rain. You have to know what's happening. It is beyond anything you can imagine. And one of the things which is so interesting was, and you have to find, you must do this. I'm still trying to, AI, AGI will never be discussed anything on cable news or anything that you even kind of sort of remotely call that. You must delve into this to blow your mind. And quantum computing is the best of the best of the best. Immerse yourself in it. Listen to it. All right? Just get wet, so to speak. Just really get involved in this. Recognize what's happening. My friend, I don't even know where. I start off every single day with my head just so excited to think about things. And little by little, bit by bit, life and reality and news and people just push me back inside that little compartment and pulls the thing back, and I'm just, next thing you know, we're back. It's like I'm going to walk through the botanical garden. I want to take it all in. I don't want to just sit there and go, huh? Flower, flower, flower. Dude, am I making sense to you? Just tell me I'm making sense. Just get it. Forget about just knowing little catchwords and phrases and being able to say something. People love, I notice some of you are wonderful. You'll just say little words. They're little versions of uh-huh. That's what you're doing. Going uh-huh. 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 Yep. Mm-hmm. Are you listening to me? Nope. But I'm reacting. I'm reacting as though I am. I'm reacting as though I am. I'm saying things, and I'm saying a word. Yep. Maoist. Education. Opium of the masses. I'm using shibboleths. Shibboleths are little phrases that we use. Yep. Orwellian. Doublespeak. War is peace. Peace is war. Dystopian ideology. I'm got it. I got it. No, you're telling me, well, I don't have a lot of room to talk here, but I'm here. I'm digging it. Yep. DARPA. HARP. Got it. Well, got it. Yep. Over in the window. No. Stop. Okay. Yesterday, the story that was missed, I tried regarding this latest story behind Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Gates. I had the hardest time, I think, explaining to people. People love to talk about the subject, but they don't really understand it. They don't really get, what does this mean? And I want to be like the detective. We're coming to the crime scene, and I'm saying, wait, don't go in there yet. Just wait a minute. Don't go in there. Yeah, I want to go. No. Let's open the door, but first, just look around. You notice anything different? Before you do this, what are you noticing? Take it all in. You just want to go right to the body, right to the murder. Okay, I understand that, but we'll get to that in a moment. What does this mean? Why are we being told this? Why would the Wall Street Journal come up with a story that basically says nothing? Of all the things for you to blackmail Bill Gates over, why would it be allegedly having an affair with an adult woman? Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. Then, there's something else that's happening. There is a fellow named Benjamin Crump. Benjamin Crump is the lawyer for all. He was George Floyd's lawyer. He is the lawyer for police abuses. He certainly has the experience. He's always enlisted. And he's like the Ralph Nader, so to speak, of Bobby Kennedy Jr. used to do environmental. Ben Crump does this. There was a story of a woman here in New York, might have been very boorish. I think she worked at a hospital. She might be pregnant. I don't know. A white woman. And we have these things called city bikes. There's another name for it, but I'm not going to say it. But it sounds like city, but it's not. Anyway, okay. And make a long story short, make a long story short, they have these bikes, and she said she was going to, she said, this is my bike. I paid for it. And he said, no, I paid for it. So they're fighting. From what I understand, there was nothing racial was said, but it was a white woman and a black man fighting over this thing. And people fight all the time. It was immediately escalated to that of racism. And there was some talk about him wanting to sue. Anyway, racism is now going to meet lawfare. Racism is going to be and you're going to say it already is. No. Not what's coming. That is going to be a criminal event, racism. And I've been telling you about thought crimes. And I've been telling you about thought crimes. And I've been warning forever. And what happens is a thought crime is you take the activity, remove the activity, and just keep the crime. There is a word that is constantly being used in reference to Mr. Epstein. It's a word I do not care to use. And it involves a predisposition, a predilection, a desire, a like, an attraction to a certain demographic by virtue of age. It's under the rubric of chronophilia. Chronophilia deals with age. There are a lot of different types. There's gerontophilia, people who are attracted to the older people, and there's just loads of different distinctions. To the unenlightened, to the child who enjoys social media and understands words that get attention, there's just one particular word that is always associated with Mr. Epstein that I care not to use by virtue of the sensibilities of our friends here. And it misses the point completely. And it misses the point completely. But it's become shorthand. And it's been said with such frequency that people are going to think that eventually just thinking this is a crime. You know what a speciesist is? Not speciesist. It sounds like specious. But a speciesist or speciesist, I guess, is somebody who has a sense of superiority regarding their species. It's like a racist species, okay? Okay. And the way it works is that people think sometimes that the reason why they are exhibiting these kinds of behaviors is because of a sense of superiority. You know, I'm a hunter because I'm superior to the animal. Say, well, that's not what hunting is about, but so eventually they are going to make being one of these people who thinks this, being somebody who might be a racist but doesn't exhibit anything, doesn't do anything, but is just a racist, they're going to make that the crime. That is happening. That is happening. I'm telling you, that is happening. That is what hate crimes are for. I've been saying this for so long, people they don't even hear me anymore. I'm saying you're missing the point about hate crimes. You're missing the point. I don't care what your motivation is. If you are a human trafficker and somebody says to you, all right, you're under arrest. Yes. Why do you do this? That's where the money is. No. You're involved. You're a trafficker in, let's say, exotic animals that are, whatever, forbidden. Okay. You're a trafficker in stolen goods. You're a trafficker in humans. You're a labor trafficker. You traffic in children. You traffic in whatever. Now, do you all traffic in this because of a particular pension? Yes. I traffic in, for example, ivory and goods of animals because of the fact that I I hate these animals, and I disregard for the notion of extinction, and that's why I do it. Why are you a drug trafficker? Oh, because basically I've always been interested in narcotics, and I've always been interested in getting high and hallucinogen. What about you? Well, I've always had a thing about being a slave master. That's why I'm into labor trafficking. No, they're traffickers because they are into the money. And it just so happens this is where this money is. This is where the money is. This is it. This is why they do it. So if you were to miss the point of this, you don't understand how this thing works. So if I were to take something which is basically motivated by pecuniary gain, economics and the like, and I were to elevate it because of the subject matter, do you think that slave masters had a thing about people of different races, or were they just, that's the way you made money? Because sometimes people of the same race, of the people being enslaved, were involved in the trafficking itself. Your motivation to me means nothing. I don't care why you do it. I don't care why you do it. You may walk around and say, I just want you to know. Do you know what I find titillating? I find the following. I don't do anything, but I just want you to know that in my mind, I'm going to Carolina. No, in my mind, I find this particular idea. This is what I find. You're disgusting. True, I don't do anything. That is legal. You can think whatever you want. You can think whatever you want. Lolita Nabokov, legal. Lot's daughters, the Bible, legal. It's a subject matter involving something that is horrible. Legal. Your thought, legal. But I hate these people, legal. Hate crimes, taking a crime and adding something to it, adding animus. Yeah, I hate this person. And the reason why I hate this person was because I hate Alsatians. Hate crime, well, maybe. Hate crime. Why? Because what you thought. But what I thought was normal. Yeah, but we're going to take what you thought. Okay. I'm going to stop you right now. I'm going to stop. I know when I'm hitting a brick wall. Not with you, but just in general. Nobody sees this. It's happening. Pull back the canopy of the plane and feel the wind. It's here. I'm telling you. In the old days, there was this thing we say in law. It's a phrase called damnum absque injuria. A wrong without an injury. You cannot sue somebody because they almost hit you. They almost did. A bullet goes by your and were you hit? No. There might be negligent infliction of emotional distress. That's a real toughie. But no, were you injured? Well, psychically, okay. The law has always believed in actual, physical, tangible, something cognizable, as they say. Who are the radicals today? Who are the radicals? I want you to tell me. Tell me this. When I was a kid in the 60s, I saw people like Abby Hoffman, Jerry Rubin, Angela Davis, H. Rap Brown, Eldridge Cleaver, Stokely Carmichael. Your favorite, Saul Alinsky, that you never heard about until fairly recently. We heard about Emma Goldman. We heard about the radicals, Sacco and Vanzetti, the anarchists. Maybe there were some communists, but whatever. But the radicals, Timothy Leary. Okay, who are the radicals today? Who are they? Answer my question. Who are the radicals? Who? Who do you think? They're the scientists. They're the people who are the individuals who are most important. They are the radicals. The radicals are the scientists. The radicals are the AI, AGI folks. The radicals are, I'd even go to say, even the cryptocurrency folks. They are the most fascinating. They are completely, they're it. Now, Do you know who the unradicals are? The reactionary right and left. Go to them. I'll tell you who they are. Let's take on this field trip. Look at the left. Look at anything. CNN, CNBC to an extent, MSNBC, MSDNC, ABC, whatever it is. That's that group. Okay, that's that. And over here we have on the right. And you can go through your favorites. You can go through people on TV. You can go through anybody like, I don't know, anybody you want. Ann Coulter, Ben Shapiro. Name them. Okay. What are these two people? They're reactionaries, meaning they're critics, meaning they don't do anything until somebody else does something. A theatrical critic has to wait until there's a play or a movie to respond to. During COVID, critics were out of business because things were shut down. They don't make anything. They don't ever advance anything. The radical, the individual who was the proponent of ideas, is always saying something, but the reactionary and they don't do anything. If you said, Ben, I want you to just explain something. I don't know why I'm saying Ben. I got Ben Shapiro. Somebody mentioned Ben. It can be anybody. I don't care who it is. Anybody. Your favorite Tucker. And by the way, you don't see what's happening to Tucker, don't you? Remember what I told you? I said, when you stay away from the gravity for too long, what happens to you? Do you think Tucker's going to come back big time? Nope. This is Higgs field stuff. He's out of the field. He's not anymore. He's not the same. You're going to see what's happening. He waited too long. He couldn't do. He was this back and forth. It's too long. Ask Jon Stewart. Ask Bill O'Reilly. Too long. Gone. Sorry. You can't go on hiatus. Not today. You got to keep going. And you got to keep going in this routine. David Caruso, when he said, I'm going to go into... Nope. Shelley Long, when she left Cheers... Nope. Some people will... Pete Best doesn't count because he was kicked out, but Mick Taylor... This was it. This was it. No. These people are reactionaries. They don't say anything without commenting on somebody first. The real radicals today are nerd-like, nebbishy scientists, physicists. Have you ever seen Sabina Hopstetler? I can't remember her last name. She's it's just like it's a buzz. It comes like a big fuzz, like breasts. Anyway, these are the radicals. Let me say this again. These are the radicals. These are the radicals. Do you hear what I'm saying? No. You don't. No. I'm going to say it again. The most interesting people, the people who are going to lead the world. Let me explain something to you. If I get a hold of AI, remember AGI has absolutely no sense of duty or whatever it is. And I said, listen, AGI, let me ask you a question. I need to get around. I'm very concerned about this social credit score stuff, and I need you to help me subvert that. What do I do? Oh, I can help you. Okay. I need help. Okay, I can do that. I can do that for you. Okay. That's going to be our way out. One of these days, some AI program is going to cure some form of cancer. It's going to be able to do brute force. And when quantum computing, which it'll be here before you know it, provided you can freeze this to, a Kelvin. And anyway, it's going to change everything. Let me see if I can rephrase this for you. Xi Jinping may say, wait a minute. What's this? This is AI. I'm going to stop it. You can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Well, I'm going to Turn off the power. You can't turn off the power. Well, who's making it? There's no such thing as it. Is it Bill Gates? No. No. AI, AGI, aside from either destroying civilization, could very well be this means of neutralizing everything that we humans don't have time enough to pursue or are just too busy to worry about. Because let me just say this again. And somebody picked the name Ben Shapiro. I don't know why Ann Coulter, or Bill Maher, whoever, it doesn't really matter. They do nothing but react to something somebody else did. The people who are going to change the world, I mean the revolutionaries, may not be human. The people who are able to confound this wave of absolute psychic imprisonment might be some artificial intelligence programmer or something. Because humans aren't doing it, Americans aren't doing it, because we're just going along with everything. Does that make any sense to you? These people are reactionaries. If anything's going to get fixed, I'm looking for, it's not going to be religion, it's not going to be the church, because that's already caving in. That's losing more and more of its power. It really is. It's just, I mean, you in your own particular world, but the organizational aspect of it is not in any way. It's not going to change anything. It's good from a point of view of kind of, how do I say this? It's great from our individual point of view. But I just want you to understand, this is the most critical for you to grasp. AI, AGI is the only issue right now that is of any importance. Everything else is just transitory to come and go. Debt ceiling and this and Russia, Ukraine. Okay, that's good. That's interesting. Hey, no, it really is. It's interesting. I got it. But the thing which is the most brutal for you to understand is what's happening right now. And I'm going to say something that I think you'll like it, but most Americans do not want to hear this. And I'm going to tell you. They're going to have to figure out how to learn this themselves. They are not self-taught. They are not in any way they're not, I don't know what the word is. They're not intellectually ravenous. That's all I'm going to tell you. This, with 152 likes, please. This is Mrs. L's Twitter. I want you to follow her immediately. I want you to make sure, this is Lynn's Warriors, what is happening right now regarding children. And let me rephrase this. It's not just about children. That is a symptom, a very important and critical symptom of what's happening to humanity as a whole. I can't say that enough to you. I've heard people sometimes sort of maybe, I don't know what the word is. They kind of think, oh, you mean that's kids? No. This is Mrs. L on YouTube. Immediately, after we're done with this, I want you to subscribe to her YouTube channel. Let me see if I can explain this to you. The first thing that you have to do is say, I understand that. I'm ready to go here. You decide your path. Do not be a reactionary anymore. Don't sit back and wait to see what Fox News is leading off of. I don't care what Fox News says. It doesn't matter to me. That may be an interesting story. Oh, here's a child who she had an American flag on her lemonade stand in East McKeesport, and, well, she's being fined by the city, and, oh, my God. No. Fox News is written by, did you see how they're just cutting off. They're trying to make up. They're just. If you don't see what's happening, if you think that Dominion was somehow the end of Fox, that this wasn't happening, you're missing your point. You're just missing that. Everybody loves Fox, and the idea is that Fox, they don't care about the Fox News. They make their money with sports and NASCAR and football, and they don't care about this. That's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. No, but the Tucker. This fetish of Tucker Carlson is something I will never, ever, even remotely understand. I don't get it. You have to figure out who this enemy is and where they're going and what is being targeted. You can pick an area. You might, just like the military always has, a Navy, has an infantry, has an Air Force. Pick your particular area. Focus on something. But if you want to blow your mind, look at what's happening to children. Let me also explain this. I'm going to say something to you, which I think most Americans don't understand. Children are not always children. They grow up. I know, that's shocking. It is shocking. People think children remain children. They think that this little baby is going to stay in that pram or stroller. No, that little baby is going to be your neighbor, or may run for office, or may be maybe a barber. Who knows? But then that baby will be replaced by another. And this is a conveyor belt, and you know this. And I don't want to see, in just, I'd say 10 years, I'm seeing drastic changes in a lot of youth today. Now, the key to this, and this is the good news, there is something right now where there is a wonderful, brilliant, young, and I hate the word nerd, but I'll say it nerd, in the sciences, in crypto, in AI, AGI, that is going to save the day. There is also, I'm going to throw something even more good news. You may not see this. There is so much good music coming out that is prototypical Bump City, Tower of Power funk. You cannot believe how there is a resurgence or a reawakening of classic 70s music from people all over the world. I don't know what Gen Z, what the new version of it is, Gen Z, Gen Z Prime, I don't know, Gen Double Z. If you know where to look, there's good news. If you know where to look, remember something. You always talk about the pendulum, right? The pendulum goes like this, goes like that. Okay, sometimes the pendulum swings back like a wrecking ball. I mean, it comes back, it just doesn't go the other way. It says, no. We are not going to do this. One of the most interesting things as a social observer as I am is to see how people reacted after COVID. Some people came back and said, oh, no. Did you read the Gorsuch interview? Did you see my video on Gorsuch? Did you see this? Tell me you did. Tell me you did. It is the most important story ever. Let me give this to you. I hope you're looking at these things that I do. And I'm not doing it just for the heck of it. I'm doing it because it makes a lot of sense. But Neil Gorsuch, in the Mayorkas case, wrote one of the most beautiful dissents ever. Here we go. Yes, get shareable link. I'll give you right there. I'll put this here in just a minute. It was beautiful. Oh my God, read it. There we go. Follow that one. This is about what happened using emergency functions and how the courts have been used as a truncheon. Now let me stop right there. This is a Monday. This is new for you. I know you're getting started. We'll talk about this. Follow me here, of course. Also, my private channel, I get to spend longer periods of time, and I talk about I do not have to worry about saying, because you do, if you want to exist, and I got no problem with this, but if you want to exist in any sense in terms of conventional, prototypical social media platforms, you got to stay away from stuff. I'm not going to mention names because I have a lot of respect for a lot of great, popular and very successful YouTubers, but they are reactionary. They are reacting to something that is already there. They're not telling you anything how do I say this? They're not telling you anything new. They're reacting to something that other people have seen that's already there. And that's fine. But that's easy to do. You just sit back and wait. Oh, here's a crazy story. Oh, here's somebody at a Target. 2 people beat up a woman. Oh, that's terrible. Do you want that? I mean, if you can, you don't need me. But if you want to say, okay, what's coming up next? Yeah. What's next? What happened, but what does this mean? You're not going to hear that. Where are we going next? And also, you're not going to hear me ever say, here's where we're going next that's beneficial to the Republicans or the Democrats, or here's something that will help Trump. Nothing really to do with Trump. It's about where we're going, irrespective of these things called politics. All right, that's enough. You have a great and a glorious day. See you tonight at 7 p.m. Don't ever change to mean that sincerely. Until then, remember this. Remember this valedictory, this sayonara. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.